Hi, good morning. Welcome everybody. Sorry. Welcome Leticia once again to our virtual roundtables. Today, as you know, guys, we have an amazing presentation for one of our top hotels here in the USA, which is the Innside, New York. As you know, Melia Hotels International as well have presence in New York, which is the most important city in the States, or one of the most important city in the state. And today, I'm really glad, and the pleasure for today is to introduce you with Alexandra Castro, which is our Director of Sales from the Innside, New York, and as well Andrew Soros, which is our Guest Experience Manager of the property. This property, they're going to be talking about the property, but one of the key selling points of this property is the great location that the property has in New York, in Manhattan, in the city. So Alexandra and Andrew, both of them, they have more than 2 years working with Melia Hotels International. They start with us, with Melia Hotels International in Innside. Innside is kind of a brand new property because when we opened this property, it was a brand new construction. But before I jump with our guests, with Alexandra and Andrew, guys, I will ask you to please put yourself on mute. And if you have any question during the Alexandra and Andrew presentation, you know that you can type all your questions on the chat box. At the end of the presentation of our colleagues, we're going to start to read each one of your questions. Please, I ask you as well to put a lot of attention to the presentation because we have a lot of good news and a lot of information to share with you. And we are so excited to present Innside New York, our, the jubilee of the crown of New York, one of the most amazing properties that we have here in the States. So thank you so much, Andrew and Alexandra, and it's all yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us, Rodolfo. We really appreciate having the opportunity to share our product and to share our hotel, especially on this platform for all the travel agents. So I'll go ahead and let Andrew take it away and give you some awesome insights about New York City.
Yeah, so we just wanted to start today just by sharing some background information on New York City as a whole and the area that we're located in. Before COVID, happened and the pandemic started, New York City welcomed records, and we also have the largest foreign-born population of anywhere in the world as well. As of last year, New York City has a GNP of about $2 trillion annually. So if New York City were its own country, it would be the world's 8th largest economy. The city is known for its famous districts and landmarks. We have 3 of the top 10 most visited attractions in the world. Everyone, I think, is probably most familiar with Times Square, which is not only the hub for Broadway in the theater district, but it's also one of the busiest pedestrian intersections and a major center for the world's entertainment industry. Many of the other city's landmarks, skyscrapers, and parks are known throughout the world thanks to the amount of attention that New York gets in movies, in the news. I think a lot of people, when they see famous landmarks around the city, they can recognize, hey, that's so-and-so in New York. New York also has a 24/7 subway service. The New York City subway is probably the largest single operator transit system in the world and also one of the safest. We have 3 major airports that support travel in and out of New York, each of which have just completed multi-billion-dollar renovations. And we also have 2 major rail transit centers in Penn Station and Grand Central, so we're accessible by train from as far north as Canada and as far south as Florida. New York also has over 120 colleges and universities. We're home to Wall Street. We've been called the world's leading financial center, having 2 of the largest stock exchanges in the world. And that really just scratches the surface of what New York City has to offer to many of the guests that come stay with us here at Innside. Within New York City, you have multiple little communities. We are located in the neighborhood of Chelsea. When you consider that 95% of the visitors that come to New York are coming for one of the attractions in between the downtown financial district and the uptown Central Park, we're located right in the middle, and we're within walking distance, or at worst, a quick subway ride of all of the major attractions that we have here in the city and all of the major tourism spots. Chelsea is also home to one of the largest LGBT communities in the city, and we're the center in the city of the art world with over 200 galleries within walking distance of the Chelsea area. We're surrounded by the fashion and the garment districts to the north, And actually, the Fashion Institute of Technology is located just down the street from us here on our block, which is one of the leading centers for up-and-coming fashionistas and fashion designers in the city. Thank you. A little further west, you'll find the new Hudson Yards complex, which is quickly becoming another large cultural center for New York. It's home to over 100 diverse shops and culinary experiences. We also have the High Line, which is about maybe a half mile's walk away. It's a 2-mile park that is built on an old railroad track that is over the city streets. So you get to enjoy some of the city attractions while also walking this 2-mile long road that is, a public park. Also within walking distance of the hotel, we have the Empire State Building, Madison Square Garden, the large Macy's Herald Square, which is about maybe 4 or 5 streets north of us, and many other attractions that I think will keep the guests of Innside busy no matter how long they stay here, whether it be a day, whether it be 7 days. That's going to be all for our history and geography lesson. I'm going to turn the camera over now to Alex, who will go into a little bit more about the property itself, the amenities, the rooms, and some of our public spaces.
Yeah, so thank you, Andrew. And as Andrew mentioned, our location is probably one of the best things about our hotel. Not only is our product just wonderful and new and exciting, but we are literally nestled in one of the best neighborhoods because we have Times Square just a few minutes up. We have downtown just a few minutes out. You can go to any borough from where we're at. We have 3 major subway lines just literally within steps of our property. So we are definitely in one of the best neighborhoods in New York City, in my opinion, to head on over to the room. So at our hotel, we have 313 amazing rooms that can be broken up into queens, kings, doubles, and suites. Some of our suites do have terraces. And what's awesome about it, if you want to go to the next slide, actually, let's back up just a tad. So for our lobby, we have this gorgeous open living lounge space in the lobby. So our hotel was actually opened in 2016, and just about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, we already had a nice little facelift. And so this kind of promotes, of course, like a nice European feel. Also, it's very much clean, as you can see. Now living in a COVID time frame, we have some public sanitary stations. So Andrew will touch on that towards the end of our presentation. So we want you to know that your travelers will definitely be safe and sterile while they're staying with us. So yeah, this is just our gorgeous lobby. Our front desk is right on the other side of this. We have a nice back patio. We have a front patio. You can see a little bit of our restaurant, which we'll get into later. But this lobby is for our guests to enjoy and just really live in the experience with us. We can go to the next one. The Deluxe King City View room is one of our standard rooms. You're looking at about 250 square feet, which is actually pretty large for New York City. There's that stereotype of small little closet-sized rooms, not with the inside. Our rooms are actually very bright, big, spacious, clean, as we can see here. We have hardwood floors. We have nice big windows that allow for some natural light. Also, if you're a person like me that likes to sleep in, you can put those blackout shades, or you can enjoy the nice open air. Our windows do actually open just a tad, so you can get some fresh New York City air. But we do also have queens, doubles, and suites, as I mentioned, so we can go on over to the next one. This is an example of a lifestyle suite with a terrace. And as you can see here, this room has floor-to-ceiling windows, again, just giving that nice natural light in the room. This is about 350 square feet, so again, you have some nice square footage here in your rooms. What's wonderful about our rooms is you can see our TV there. We're actually very technologically forward, so a lot of folks, when they travel, they love to unwind and watch their favorite TV show or just, hang out on their laptop. What's awesome about our TVs is that you can actually do a Chromecast sort of situation, so you can watch your Netflix and your Hulu, or even listen to your Spotify right on our TV, just with a simple connection via your mobile device or your tablet. And also there's an HDMI plug on that TV as well, so you can go ahead and connect and either do some work on your laptop and have the screen there. So we just want to make it as comfortable as possible for you to do work or just enjoy yourself while you're in your room. Also in the room, we do have complimentary Wi-Fi, of course. Our restrooms are nice and big, and they have a rainfall shower, which is just wonderful. And we don't have the tubs. We have the nice big standing showers. Just all the things that make you feel like you're in your own home while you're staying with us. And all the rooms, of course, are equipped with self-operating HVAC systems. So if you want it extra chilly, you can do that. If you want it off, you can do that. If you want it nice and toasty, you can do that as well. So we'll go ahead and head to the next one. Of course, again, some of the suites do have the terraces out. This particular view actually looks towards Times Square. So what's awesome about our rooms is we have these beautiful, unique views of Manhattan, of New York City. Right there in our photo, you can see the H&M building, which is right by where the ball drops, and super exciting. These terraces are gorgeous for enjoying a beverage or just reading a book or having a little quick powwow with some of your friends that are here visiting you. What's great about this particular example is that this couch here can also fold out. So I know a lot of the travel agents out there, you book travel not only for professionals traveling for work, but you book travel for folks that are traveling with their families. So this is also a great option to extend to your clients. And of course, you have this nice working space here in the room there with a desk, a phone, a chair, a nice light, and everything like that. So we'll head to our next slide here, and I'll let Andrew take it back over and tell you all about how you can stay safe with Malia.
Yes, so now we arrive to the portion of the presentation that I'm sure a lot of the agents here were wondering about, which is the precautions that Innside New York is taking to help stop the spread of COVID-19. As many of us are aware, New York was the epicenter of the pandemic when it first came to the United States, so we're well aware of the seriousness of the virus, and I'm happy to report that even when you just walk outside here, you'll definitely notice that New Yorkers and New York businesses have all taken the necessary precautions to help stop the spread. I think that it just came out now that New York, for about 35 days now, has had an infection rate of less than 1%, which leads the country, so we're definitely on the right track. We're doing everything that we can here to make sure that our guests here stay safe. We'll go to the next slide here. This shows more of a comprehensive snapshot of what Innside is doing to help stop the spread and the changes that we are making to the way that we operate. We'll definitely go ahead and make this information sheet available to anyone after this call so that you can have it handy, and we'll walk you through kind of a brief overview of some of the changes that you'll see, and then we've included some pictures as well that will show you physical examples of the changes that we've made. So we'll start definitely by saying that our main goal is to obviously ensure the safety of both of our guests and our associates. And we're doing this in a variety of new ways. One of the first things that we've done is attempt to limit guest interactions with staff here on the property. What we've done is we've digitalized many of our services. Some of the former services that we've offered, we've kind of converted to a digital platform. And I think that the greatest example of this is the Malia app. The Malia app is available on Apple, Google, Android, and it's got a feature on it called the Stay feature. And what the Stay feature is going to do is it's going to limit the interactions that you can have with the staff, because you won't need to physically speak to anyone, and you can do everything from the app itself on your personal device. So if there's an item that you need in your room, you can request it through the app. If there's maintenance that you need in the room, you can request it through the app. And one of the great unique features is that we're going to have a live chat where you can physically have one-on-one contact with a guest service agent at the front desk. So you don't have to use your in-room phone. You don't have to come down to the lobby to speak with someone. However, we do understand that sometimes guests and associates do need to interact with each other face-to-face. So we're definitely going to promote that with a safe manner through the use of social distancing guidelines as well as personal protective equipment. All associates at the hotel, at a minimum, will be wearing a mask in all of our public areas as soon as they enter the building. And associates that have direct contact with guests will also have access to gloves, to disposable aprons, to the face shield for that extra layer of safety. Our front desk screens will have acrylic right over the desk so that it'll separate guests and agents, but it's see-through, so you can still have that contact and you can still communicate effectively. So some of the other things that we've been doing here to help stop the spread are our cleaning guidelines. We've partnered with a company called Diversi, which put together a cleaning plan specifically to help combat the spread of COVID. Some of the highlights that you'll see in the rooms are sanitizing the room from top to bottom. So light switches, door handles, glass, the floors, everything that you see in the room has been wiped down and sanitized. We've ensured that our linen is going to be cleaned according to the proper protocols when it comes to chemicals and when it comes to heat treatment. We do cleaning upon request. So one of the questions that we're going to be asking guests when they check in is their preferred cleaning schedule. Do you want your room cleaned every day? Do you want it cleaned every other day? Do you only want it cleaned once? Do you not want it cleaned at all? And we'll work with guests because we think that one of the best ways to limit the spread is to ensure that, people aren't coming in and out of the room needlessly. And we know that some guests prefer to check in and that's it. When I need something, I'll ask for it, and we're well equipped to handle that as well. Some of the other things that we have are tamper-proof seals on the doors. So once your room is serviced, we put a seal on the door that will not be broken unless it's physically entered. So you'll know that the last person that was in your room was the room attendant that serviced it. And then we're going to be eliminating a lot of the paper products and the non-essential items in the room as well. So in-room menus, the in-room coffee station, irons, ironing boards, notepads, pens, they've all been pulled from the room just to help combat the spread. However, if you do need one of those items, we will disinfect it for you downstairs in our back office area, and then we'll bring it up to you and we'll deliver it contactless so you don't have to have an interaction with an associate needlessly. Some of the other things that we've done are sanitizing stations in the lobby. We have about 3 of them, as Alex mentioned, where we have hand sanitizer. We have floor mats that will help sanitize the undersides of your feet in case you track anything from outside, as well as your luggage in case you track anything from the airport. And we are promoting cashless operations here, so we don't have needless exchange of money unnecessarily. We definitely recommend everyone pay via credit. And then just a couple of the last things that we've done. We have a Stay Safe ambassador at the hotel that ensures all of these protocols are met, that will answer any guest questions. Here at Innside, that Stay Safe ambassador is me. So if you have any questions either after the presentation or if you think of anything later in the day, we'll make my contact information available and I'll be happy to answer anything that you have. All of our front desk stations are going to be sterilized in between guest interactions. So after one guest departs the desk, we'll wipe everything down so that the next guest can come in and, be checked in, have that interaction. And we are doing body temperature recordings of our associates and our guests so that if anyone has a fever, we can go ahead and treat that accordingly. We have an in-house doctor that will come visit in case if a guest is feeling ill. We can have a doctor come in and look at them. They don't have to leave the room. And if anyone does have a suspected case, we have a separate wing here in the hotel that we're setting aside so that we can isolate those guests from the other ones in the building to help stop the spread, but also ensure that the guest that has a suspected case is taken care of and given the same experience that they would be if they were a clean bill of health. And we'll just go in and see some of the pictures that I mentioned. Here in the top left-hand corner, we've got some of the new items in the restrooms. We now have hands-free soap dispensers, hands-free paper towel dispensers. The air dryers that we used to have been deactivated so that we don't spread, any germs on your hands throughout the room. We've updated our occupancy signage. Occupancies around the hotel and the public areas have essentially been cut in half. Our meeting spaces used to hold anywhere from 25 to 30. We've cut that down now to 12. Our elevator, we are keeping at 2 people per elevator. Our lobby has been cut in half from about 80 to 40. And our gym is now holding 6 people at one time, and it's going to be done by appointment only. Segueing right into our fitness center. Our fitness center is equipped with hands-free wipes, hands-free water, and socially distanced machines so that guests can work out and not have to be close together, while they're working out using the treadmills or the weight bench. And then lastly, in our lobby, it might be a little bit hard to see in the first picture, but we see the acrylic screens that I mentioned earlier that will act as a barrier between associates and guests. And we have an example here in the bottom right-hand corner of one of the sanitizing stations that we have in the lobby. Going into our rooms, these are some of the things that you'll see in our rooms, and those are the seals that I had mentioned. The seals are going to be on the phone, on the room door, and on the remote, which I think are the 3 mostly touched areas of the room. We've removed all the non-essential items, so you can see in the bottom left-hand corner with the refrigerator, we used to stock with some beverages, but because of COVID, we pulled those from the room. We've left the refrigerator there for guests in case they bring anything or they buy anything while they're here and they need to store it anywhere cool. You'll see the towel packets with the Stay Safe bag. Anything that needs to be delivered to a room will be sanitized, placed in one of those bags, left outside the door. The associate will knock on the door, and then the guest can pick it up without having that one-on-one interaction. And then an example in the bottom right-hand corner of the Stay Safe app that I mentioned, where it will give access and information to the restaurant. You can book reservations to the restaurant. It'll have the platform for you to make a reservation at the gym, and as I mentioned, the maintenance requests and any of the in-room requests that you might need.
Awesome. Well, that I know is a lot of information to take in, but we want to make sure that you guys understand that we are taking every measure possible to keep your travelers safe and to keep the associates here safe at the hotel, so we can ensure positive experience. And as Andrew is our wonderful on-site ambassador, so as he mentioned, we will have our contact information for you all. We can even send you that sheet if needed, so that your clients are definitely reassured that we will take care of them and they'll stay safe in Melia. To go into our public spaces, so we do have a wonderful restaurant here on site that specializes in a seafood cuisine. Here are some gorgeous pictures of some of the items that they offer here at the hotel. And it's actually a wonderful 2-level restaurant, and it features an all-season heated patio. So what's nice is that, you know, outdoor dining is very much encouraged in this environment, and that is definitely offered here at our hotel. We have a gorgeous front patio for people to enjoy their meals and, you know, people watch and be surrounded by gorgeous floral that we have there. But anyways, back to the restaurant. The restaurant is operated by our partners in Good Company, and they're owners of a dozen gorgeous, trendy restaurants here in New York City. So they're a great partner to have here at the hotel. And again, they specialize in a seafood cuisine, wonderful cocktails at the bar. And I believe we have an example of the lower level. Here's one of our main entrance photos. So it's a full service bar as well. You know, you can get mixed cocktails, you can get traditional stuff like beer, wine, cold drinks and all that good stuff. There's different types of seating here. So whenever you want to have more of an indoor experience here in New York City, we are going to allow a very limited capacity for indoor seating. So this will be one of the options. And then, of course, we do have this lower level, which is mostly used for overflow. However, being in this new environment of COVID, we are probably going to just have, you know, this spread out a little bit differently. But this can also be used for small private events, which this is a gorgeous new space that just got added about 2 years ago. So it's all nice and new. There's some live moss there on the wall above the picture. Some of the moss hangs. It's super nice and trendy and cozy. So, and it's easily accessible by elevator. It is in our lower level, as the photo mentions. And here we go. Here's our gorgeous outdoor patio. And it can be heated. So even in the wintertime, it will be enclosed, nice and heated. So you can still enjoy some beverages or your dinner and people watch out in New York City on our lovely street here. And then we are going to head over to our fitness center. So this is our new recently constructed fitness center. It's located on our 20th floor. So 24 is up, and what's nice is that this actually faces south. So what that means is that it has gorgeous views of downtown Manhattan, which include things like the Freedom Tower, which is just an iconic staple of our skyline. So what's awesome about our new fitness center is that it does have all these different types of bikes. So depending on the kind of fitness regimen you have or routine you want to get in, we have a few different options here. In the room, there's also a separate space. We partnered with a bike company called Wexer, so you can have that, cycling experience. And what's nice is that it's a separate room. So again, you know, we're encouraging folks to spread out. And as Andrew mentioned, if you download the Melia app, you can book your reservation because access to our gym will be reservation only. And as he mentioned, there's a lot of initiatives to keep it very clean. And it's a brand new facility, so it's gorgeous, and it has all this natural light. The windows do open just a tad to get some circulation in the room. There's always some nice, fun tunes pumping in the room. So it's just a gorgeous addition to our hotel. And again, sits right on the top of the hotel, 20th floor. All right, and our front outdoor patio, this is just an area for guests to enjoy themselves. You can grab a drink that you got from the bar, or after a long day of exploring the city. Again, being in Chelsea, we're in one of the most unique, special neighborhoods in New York City, just 15 minutes walking from Times Square, 20 minutes walking downtown. You want to come back and unwind, you can definitely do that here on our front outdoor patio. And we also do monthly activations, which we will bring back slowly as the hotel opens, and we kind of have little mini events here. So we will definitely have all that information on our social media. So if you're not already following Inside New York, please do on Instagram. You'll see whenever we post our activations there.
Yeah, and one other thing that we wanted to mention is that our Wi-Fi capabilities extend all the way out to the sidewalk, so you can sit in this area on your laptops. You don't have to be confined to your room. You can still get your work done, be productive down here. And this space is actually decorated seasonally.
Yes.
So in the autumn, which we're going to be starting now, we're going to be making it a lot more colorful with the different colored leaves. In the winter, we kind of turn it into a winter wonderland. And then in the spring and the summer, we use those different colored flowers that pop to give it a better aesthetic.
Yeah, so there's definitely a ton of examples of what Andrew just mentioned on our social media. You can see all the gorgeous photos that people have taken. Then we're going to take it to our back patio. This is also a space that can be utilized to unwind and just hang out, take your laptop there, do some work. We do have some games back here which are not seen, but we have things like a table tennis, we have Jenga, we have puzzles and games for adults and kids alike to enjoy. And it's also a great space to host maybe like a cocktail reception, some live music, or just hang out with your friends. And again, I know that being outdoors is very much encouraged, so this space is available to all of our guests. And it's very nice and cozy, and it faces our backside of the hotel, so you kind of feel like you're in authentic New York there with all of these fire escapes. All right, and we'll head over to, I believe, our meeting spaces. So I know that the future of meetings is kind of in the air. However, if you do have some folks that need to have meetings, and don't even think of it corporate, even if you're booking something for like a family reunion, or if you're booking something for a wedding, you know, we have these spaces that are versatile and flexible, and that can be used for whatever is needed of your clients. So we do have a few different spaces. We have 3 different rooms, and we are actually in one of our rooms now. It's super flexible. It can be combined with another. So again, that's the key word here, is flexibility, which we are. So let's see if we can take a look at one of the pictures there. Here we go. So this is the room that we're currently in. I know it's not the best angle to get an idea of this room, but this is our creative room, the Nomad room. This is where we want your clients to get inspired and to get their creativity going, and, you know, just to have an effective meeting or gathering. This room itself is about 400 square feet or so. And again, a lot of the stuff in the photo has been removed, again, just to eliminate cross-contamination. But the room itself is still nice, big, it's flexible, things can be moved. Our windows are nice and big and bright. And then we also have the electronic shades that can come down. We do have some nice technology in here. What's nice is that we are trying to do our part and save the planet, so we can eliminate paper waste in here. We actually have dry erase walls that you can write on. So if you have something to jot down, write on our walls, it's okay. And our high-tech smart digital dry board is also there too. So if you have folks that want to download the app, they can actually download an app. They can type in whatever they're doing, and it'll show up on our screen. So again, to eliminate like people having to like touch things and write and all that goodness, you could just download an app to do that. So we'll head on to the next room. This is the Chelsea room, which is probably one of our most popular rooms. This is about 700 square feet. And like some of our other rooms, it has these floor-to-ceiling windows, nice and big and bright. Windows do open. We also have the dry erase walls in this room too. The Polycom is in this room. We have our our smart board here. And this room actually combines with the previous room, so you can make that even larger of a space, which I know that that's kind of a concern for people, so you can spread your folks out. That is something we can do with these 2 rooms. And then with our last room, the Flatiron room, what's nice about this one is that it's kind of cool in the sense that it has like its own little private patio, and this also has a very flexible setup. We have the dry erase walls in here. So again, going back to the word flexibility, we can be as flexible as possible with all of these rooms. Even in the terms of price, I know that a lot of your clients probably have a sweet spot in what they can afford now and being in this COVID era. So we are definitely as flexible as needed. And all these 3 rooms can be used for a many array different of reasons. So I believe that is the last of our... I
believe that concludes everything.
Yeah.
So now we'll open up the floor for any comments or questions.
Well, thank you so much, Andrew and Alexandra. What do you think, guys? It was a really informative presentation. As Alexandra, you say there is a lot of information, but the reason that we wanted to share with you all this information is to make you feel comfortable and safety to book your clients to the Innside New York, because in Innside New York, we are taking all the the safety measures that we need to take for our employees and as well for our clients visiting the property. Thank you so much, guys. The property looks amazing. Really, really, as Alexandra and Andrew mentioned, it's a really modern style property with a nice location in the city, really close from all the major attractions of the city. And as well, something that is really important once you're in the city is that you have to be really close to a subway station or something like that. And as well, the property is really close to a subway station, and it's one of the subway station that you have a lot of connection, a lot of different training going to different part of the city. So it's like a key selling point. And as well, guys, if you're familiar with New York, as Alexandra and Andrew mentioned, the size of the rooms is amazing, guys. It's amazing. I believe it's one of the key selling points as well of the property, because as you know, in New York, everything is shoebox. And in Innside, you really have a room. You really have a room. You really have a space. You have a space for your luggage. You have a space if you're traveling. That is one of the questions that we have right now in the chat box. The property allows kids, right?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Not only do we allow them, we do not charge for them.
Oh, perfect. Oh, awesome. That's a good.
I believe, I'm sorry, we failed to mention we are also pet friendly as well. And we offer dog amenities. So, I know that some folks like to travel with their furry friends because they are families. So they are more than welcome to stay at the Innside as well.
Building on that, our restaurant actually has a unique dog menu where the chef will make, there's 3 items. There's a chicken dish, a meat dish, and a vegetarian option for furry little four-legged friends as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
If I may, Rodolfo, they had a question here for the pet friendly. Up to what size dogs do you allow? What weight, I should say? What weight dogs? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, we try and keep it to under 35 pounds, but there are definitely exceptions that can be made. We've had dogs much larger than 35 pounds stay here.
No, I understand that. Maybe a seeing eye dog or a larger, yes.
Right.
Absolutely. And again, I want to go back to the word flexible. That is something that we are. So, I mean, if you have a pet and it needs to come with you, we definitely understand. Touch base with, myself and Andrew, and we'll make sure that that's accommodated. So,
perfect.
So just answering the question, yes, the property allows kids and as well allows pets, which is pets is a part of the family. So Andrew and Alexandra, I'm going to read some of the questions that we have here in the chat box, and as well Natalie is going to help us to read some questions that we have in our Facebook Live, because we have other agents taking this webinar from Facebook. The first question that I have here is that, which is the closer airport to get into the property?
So the closest airport to the property is probably LaGuardia. It's about a 40-minute cab ride in regular traffic, but if there's no traffic, it can be done as easily as 20, 25 minutes. We're also, I think the next closest would probably be JFK. JFK is actually accessible by subway on I believe it's the A train or the C train. It'll take you right to Penn Station, which is about 6 blocks north of here. And then Newark Airport is also accessible by train, which will also take you to the same Penn Station as well. But to answer the question, LaGuardia is probably the closest.
And LaGuardia is more a domestic airport, right?
LaGuardia is international.
LaGuardia is domestic. JFK is international.
She's right.
Yeah. So the two international ones, I always recommend folks to look at Newark. New Jersey is right there. That's a big misconception with folks. They get a little hesitant to look at New Jersey. It's right there. So I personally, I fly out of Newark all the time. It's literally 30 minutes. So that is an international airport. So is JFK. And as Andrew mentioned, LaGuardia is right there, but that is domestic. So all those three, they are super, super accessible. I promise you, like looking in flights that go into New Jersey is not scary. It's right there.
Perfect. Awesome.
Don't be intimidated.
Well, they're asking as well the exactly location of the property, because we mentioned that we are in the neighborhood. You mentioned the neighborhood that we are in Chelsea, but which one is exactly location?
We are on the street 27, so we're on 27th Street. The nearest cross street is 7th Avenue. So we're between 6th and 7th Avenue on 27th Street. Yeah, right. Perfect location, in my opinion.
Perfect. Amazing. So another question that we have here is the front patio and the back patio. They are heated as the restaurant terrace, or is heated. Those two patios are heated.
The backyard, I believe, has
the patios. The only patio that is heated is the patio that is available for dining.
The restaurant
other side of the front patio. So let me just back up here a little bit.
Oh, we could do that.
This area here is heated. You can see on top by where the light fixtures are, there's these bars. Those are the actual heaters that will beat down on the guests that are eating. Mm-hmm. However, this front patio is not heated, and the back patio is also not heated.
It's not heated. So back and front patios are not heated. The only heated patio is the restaurant patio.
Dining, yes.
Perfect.
The back patio, however, if I may add, it can be covered. So this photo here, if you look at the top, towards maybe the left side, you'll see that there's something that can be pulled down. So I know that, that's not the same as being heated, but it can be covered, and we do extend it down very often.
Awesome. And the clients, they need reservations to go to those patios when it's open, or they just show up and that's it?
Nope, we keep the doors open. Well, the front patio is accessible from the sidewalk, so you can just walk right in. And then the back patio is accessible by door. We keep those doors unlocked.
Perfect. Awesome. Another question that I have here on the chat box is the minibar, the fridge that you show on the rooms, is that right now you mentioned that it's empty and is available for clients if they want to bring their own drinks, so they can put it on the fridge, but it is included, it's still included in our package, and I think this traveling, maybe they've already been in the property, they already sent some clients to the property, because she's asking about the minibar inclusions.
Right, so the minibar is not included in that anymore. However, we do still have those items for sale down by the front office. They range anywhere from about $1 to $5. But to compensate, what we've done is we used to have a resort fee of about $40. We've now cut that in half. So now it's only going to be $19.99.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. So minibar is just there if the client wants to buy something on the first floor, if they want to bring something from the street or from the...
Right. And another thing that I wanted to add is that the closest convenience store is just around the corner here. You just have to walk over to 6th Avenue, and we have a pharmacy right there, and you can get any beverage or any food item that you want, any groceries.
Awesome. Perfect. And I have two more questions. One is if we know in which phase New York City it is right now, if attraction has been already open or not.
Yeah, so we are, I believe, towards 5th, 6th-ish phase. But that being said, attractions are open. We have the museums here that are open at very limited capacity, and they're also doing timed entrances and everything like that. Things like Broadway, of course, that is still on hold till about 2021, movie theaters as well. But, your museums and walking tours, all those are back. Restaurants are about to go into indoor dining phases, but the outdoor patios are still thriving, and they're doing the same thing. They're limiting the capacity, And there's still a lot to do here in New York City. So, if you're thinking about coming, we can help get you set up with what's open and everything like that. But there are still activities to do. Major ones like The Edge, which is a brand new addition here to New York City. It's right around the corner from us. They're about to reopen. If anybody saw the MTV Music Awards, The Weeknd performed on it. So it's right around the corner from us. Things like that are already open. So I guess that might answer your question. I'm sorry.
The way I like to describe it is everything essentially here is open with the exception of indoor dining, which will open on September 30th, and things with paid audiences. So anything that you would pay admission to so that you could see indoors is not currently open. But everything else, museums, shops, at a limited capacity, but definitely available.
The parks are open with activities. Walking tours are really thriving right now too, to see landmarks and stuff like that. So it's so exciting.
Yeah, and that reminds me of another thing. We actually now have a partnership with a cruise line here that offers hour-and-a-half excursions where you hop on a boat I think it's on 42nd Street, maybe 15 blocks north of here. And they'll do a tour of the Hudson River where you can go around the entire island of Manhattan and see all of the major tourism spots from the water, not from land.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Remember, guys, New York is the city that never sleeps, not even
Not even in pandemic.
Natalie, I believe that you have some questions on the Facebook.
Well, I have, first of all, congratulations. This presentation is awesome. It's great even for me to have the updates. I want to say hi to my Canadian agents that are logged in now. Leticia, Sumit, Marlene, hi. Since we all know that the U.S. and Canada road border is still closed, we are crossing our fingers for next month. But by air, it's okay. It's only that you cannot drive. But if you want to fly to Miami, to New York, or whatever, it's we do have flights, but not using your car. But when you do use your car, we used to have an agreement with a special parking, and we did have a valet. I believe it was like $55. Is still going on now with all the COVID measures?
So with the valet parking, the garage is still open. We do still have an agreement with them, but it's now self-park. So we'll give you the information. It's located just around the corner here, 2 blocks south of us. But we still have the agreement. The only thing that we have amended is that they will not come and physically take your car there, and that's again just to limit any potential risk of exposure.
Okay, great. And my last question is for the purpose of our Canadian Facebook group. We have a Facebook group exclusively for Canadian travel agents, and I do post a lot of information, and I created a link to download fact sheets. So please, guys, if you can send me the fact sheet, like the PowerPoint or something, I will be able to post it in the Facebook group so that the agents will have access to these amazing new features. Because when I was at the hotel last, I think it was 2.5 years ago, the patio was open, but it did not look like that. So it's a major improvement. So congratulations, and we all are crossing our fingers to be able to visit you guys as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
Thank you. I have to leave now because I have another meeting. Busy Thursday. So I'm going to leave you guys and wish you a very pleasant day and a great weekend coming up.
Thank you, Natalie.
Bye,
Okay.
thank
Bye.
you.
Bye,
The
guys.
Canadian community for all your support
Yes,
as
thank
always.
you.
I have here another question, Alexander and Andrew. And this is, I don't know if it's the million question. They're asking the opening of the hotel, the opening date.
Yes. So
Reopening.
we are, as of right now, opening October 15th. So in about a month from now.
Perfect. And let me see right now with the new chat that we have, if there is something, any other question. I don't know. I'm not sure, Leticia. You type a question, Leticia, in the last chat. If you want, you can unmute yourself and you can ask directly to Andrew and Alexandra.
Hi.
Hi. How are you, Leticia?
My question was, you said the Wi-Fi was complimentary, but is it for all the rooms categories or just the suite?
No, it's for everyone. It's for all the public spaces, the meeting spaces, rooms, as Andrew mentioned, our front patio, the back patios. So yeah, absolutely. We want you all and your travelers to stay connected while they're away. So.
All right. All right. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Leticia. And I'm asking if we have any other question on Facebook. Just give me 1 second. But so far, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for this amazing presentation. It's really, well, it's good for us and as well for all our agents that connect themselves to get to know a little bit more about the Innside, because sometimes people get lost with the Innside brand that is part of Meliá Hotels International or not, because as you know, we just have one Innside hotel in our America region. So thank you so much for all this informative presentation, because now I believe that the agents will connect more the Innside brand with the Meliá Hotels International. And as well, they learn more today with all this amazing presentation that you made. What is the Innside concept and what the Innside you have to offer to our clients. So thank you so much, Andrew and Alexandra. I don't know if you want to say something.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much for having us and including us in this presentation. If anyone has any questions, as Andrew mentioned, we are happy to provide our information. A lot of you are familiar with Rodolfo. You can reach out to him and he can connect you to us. But we are happy to help you and your travelers find accommodations here at our hotel. We welcome all of you, especially y'all. Y'all deserve a vacation, so come down and see us.
No, so thank you so much. And travel agents, as you know, please keep post with our travel, Meliá Pro travel community. As you know, we have been doing, and we're gonna still doing some more events. Right now, we have a big wave of reopening. As Alexandra mentioned, in October, we're gonna have some destinations reopen once again. One of them is the New York. As well, we have more hotels reopen in Mexico and the Dominican Republic, which, as you know, are top destination for your travelers. And as well, please remember the promotion that we have, that for every 10 bookings that you made, you are able to earn 1 night free in any of our Mexico hotels so far. The hotels that we have open, which is Paradiso Los Cabos and Paradiso Playa del Carmen. So for every 10 nights booking that you made in those two properties, you're able, or you earn 1 night free for you to stay in our properties. And as well, this promotion is going to be extended once we reopen other hotels. We're going to extend this promotion to other hotels. So it's an incentive that we're promoting to all the travel agents, so to help us to push the bookings to our property. So please keep posting our Meliá Pro Facebook communities, because we're going to be sharing a lot of information about the reopenings. October is our month. Please cross fingers. October is our month. We need to open more destinations. And any question you have Adam, you have Nathan, and you have myself. You have our emails. You can contact us, and for sure we're going to support you, and we're going to answer each one of your emails. Thank you once again, guys, for your time, for this amazing presentation, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.